Hello and welcome back to Elecspo and welcome to part 2 of the Newcastle United experiment. If you saw the video on Friday, we wasted every single penny, pretty much, of the £200 million Newcastle get at the start of an FM22 simulation. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it, but what we're going to do now is we're going to go through a full season with this Magpies wasted squad, to be honest with you, and see just how well they do. Before we start, we'll have a little run through how we spent our money. We spent £10 million on Jack Colback, 10.25 on Phil Jones, 10 million on YouTube sensation Ben Foster, 50 million pound on the man that wanted to leave Arsenal in the summer, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, 15 million on the wrong Lukaku brother, 10 million pounds on Toon Flop Emmanuel Riviere, and £55 million, a club record fee on absolute speed merchant, a man who couldn't finish a bowl of Cheerios, Adama Traore, and Jack Wilshere on a free, just because I could, really. The squad is set for the new Premier League season. We also gave Joe Linton a big new contract at St James's Park. He is now earning a ridiculous £195,000 a week. But how will this Newcastle team get on in the Premier League? As I say, the squad is set. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on holiday, to be honest with you. I'm going to go to maybe France, maybe the South Italy, not Saudi Arabia, wherever I fancy. Just going to leave Graham Jones in charge of this elite crop of players. Well, it's not really elite, is it? Saint-Maximin's quite good. This mishmash of players that cost a lot of money, how will they get on in the Premier League? What I'm going to do is I'm going to simulate until the end of December. We'll be halfway through the season and we'll see how the new boys are getting on at St James's Park. But if you haven't already, make sure you give this video a like, let us know what you think in the comments below, and if you're a fan, maybe even hit the subscribe button as well, because we're getting very close to 35,000 subscribers, which is a nice round-ish number, isn't it? It's nearly 50,000. And once we get to 50,000, we're basically 100,000, and then you get a nice little trophy, which would be quite nice. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's just focus on this Newcastle save, and let's see where we are at Christmas. Right, I said we were going till the end of December, but there's been a slight issue because whilst I was on holiday, I've also been sacked. Newcastle are looking for a new manager. They no longer want me calling the shots, which is fair enough considering I went on holiday after spunking £200 million down the drain. 11 games have been played, and the Magpies are second bottom with just 6 points on the board. Things aren't going well at all for Amanda Staveley's Saudi Mags. Let's check them out. Let's see what the schedule says. See when we got any wins. Obviously, we've got 2, which is not great. We got off to a pretty rotten start, actually. First 4 games in all competitions, didn't win. We lost all 4 of them, didn't score a single goal. We first scored when we played Leeds on the 1st of September. That was a 11th of September, sorry. That was a Callum Wilson penalty, and Jordan Lukaku scored an own goal. Then we got back-to-back wins, a 1-0 win over Wolves, with Adama Traore scoring the goal after slagging off, scoring against his former club, and then a week later, we beat Crystal Palace 1-0, with Callum Wilson finding the back of the net. But since then, Newcastle have scored just 1 goal, that was against Manchester City, and Adama Traore goal again, Jack Wilshere getting himself a red card, and every other game has been a defeat 2-0. Let's check the players out. Before I went on holiday, I set the team that I have. I wanted them to start out. I wanted it to be Ben Foster in goal, Maitland-Niles right back, Lukaku left back, Lascelles, Jones at centre half, a midfield 3 of Colback, Wilshere, Willock, and then a front 3 of Traore, Saint-Maximin and Callum Wilson. Every single player I signed in the summer starting, except for Emmanuel Riviere. But I mean, that's fine. Emmanuel Riviere hasn't actually played a single minute of football, which is quite disappointing for him. I mean, the average ratings are actually appalling. Ben Foster's doing okay, but Phil Jones has been awful, Maitland-Niles has been awful, Colback hasn't been as awful, but still pretty awful. The only one who's doing half decent is the one who cost the most amount of money, Adama Traore, and he's probably the one I slagged off the most. Right, here we are at the end of the Premier League season, and Newcastle United, despite their new owners, have gone down to the Championship. They have finished rock bottom of the table with 31 points. They were so close to survival, but a 2-1 defeat to Arsenal on the final day has condemned them to Championship football next season. They could have survived. If they'd got a win on the final day, they would have jumped ahead of everyone. Well, the teams who are slightly above them in the table. They would have jumped above everyone, including Palace, Brentford and Norwich. They would have survived, they would have stayed in the Premier League, and they could have splashed their cash once again in the Premier League. But Newcastle are going down to the Championship. Let's have a look at who replaced me. Obviously Graham Jones had 32 days in charge as caretaker, and they went with Gennaro Gattuso, which is a very, very strange appointment. A man who's always linked with the Newcastle job by the Italian press. I don't know why the Italians are so desperate for Gennaro Gattuso to get the Newcastle job. Based on this, he wouldn't be very good at all. I mean, I know when I was in charge I went on holiday, spent a load of money and left them in 19th place, but I mean, under Gattuso they went even further down, they were 20th. It's been an awful season for Newcastle. Obviously I'm going to assume they had no more money to spend in January because I wasted it all. Yeah, they spent £1 million. They brought in Indiana Vassilev from Aston Villa, which is alright. Well, it's not really, he probably didn't do anything, I bet. But all the players are signed, they survived, they haven't been let go, and they will be playing in the Championship next season for Newcastle. Let's check the schedule out, see how they got on after my departure. They had a little bit of a flurry with no defeats in 3 there. They beat West Ham, they beat Leicester City, they beat Norwich, sorry, they drew with Norwich 2-2. And then after that, they didn't really do anything until January. But it's been an awful season for Newcastle, and that is why they are going down to the Championship. Right, they had a rotten end of the season. Man United, Liverpool and Arsenal. It's no wonder they didn't survive going into that final flurry of games. Let's check the players out, see how my players, how much they featured. Well, we'll go average rating and see who sits at the top of the pile, and it is Saint-Maximin. The best player that I signed was Ben Foster. He actually played 28 times, average rating of 6.89, which isn't very good. He was closely followed by Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who recovered from a slow start. He got himself 2 assists and an average rating of 6.87. Next after that, I mean quite low down, you've got Adama Traore. He scored 5 goals, played 37 times. And then it seems to be getting worse and worse. Jack Wilshere didn't play that much. Colback didn't play that much. He's on the transfer list, so was Jack Wilshere. Phil Jones, 20 appearances in all competitions, 4 of which were on the bench. He's played less and less. Riviere finally got a few minutes, 5 appearances off the bench, didn't score a single goal. Both him and Jordan Lukaku on the transfer list. And that appears to be it. It has been a disastrous season for Newcastle United. I wasted £200 million on a load of players that Newcastle either didn't need or just weren't up to the task. And it has resulted in them going down to the Championship. It's what a lot of people probably outside of Newcastle want to see now. They're the richest club in the world. And I have made it a reality in this FM simulation, which is kind of stupid considering I'm a Newcastle supporter. But you know, I can understand why a lot of people want it to go down. I'd like to think they're probably not going to spend £200 million in January. But if they do, don't spend it on Emmanuel Riviere and Jack Colback. Please, Amanda, come on, don't do it. We will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. And until next time, we will see you around.